But he was married
Or the
to
Spanish
the
teacher. Maybe she was like a newer Spanish teacher.
Because I'm like, was the Spanish teacher a cougar? But maybe she wasn't old at all.
I just like, I hope it's not true because she really liked her Spanish teacher. We can get into recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the name of this episode?
No.
It's so funny. It's called Derailed Divas.
Derailed Divas?
That almost sounds sexual, like a porn.
Derailed? What? Well, I guess because they get off track? Derailed.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, okay, well...
Huh.
Well...
I don't know. That is a good title, though.
Well, you know what it probably has to do with?
What?
At the very end, when they go on those things, those like look like rail car on the tracks.
Oh my god!
That's how the episode.
The world's slowest.
I just realized that
roller coaster. Yeah.
But it looked kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It looked like work, and then Rulla's in the back, and she's not even. She's making cocktails.
She was making a cocktail. I'm like, you know what? You earned points with me because I don't know how you feel about Rulla up until this point. Well, I'm annoyed by her because a kind of woman that I don't find myself looking to be friends with are the ones that stay with like men that are like shitty. Like and that's just my I'm not saying anything against her because maybe in a year she'd be like, fuck this guy, and she becomes a bad bitch because of it. The current state, like I just have a hard time with women that like dim themselves to like make shit work. You know what? I hope you can figure your life out. I hope nothing but happiness for you, but that's just not my kind of chick. So that's why I don't like care for her.
I don't have much of an opinion with her. I'm kind of more so curious because we get to see her as like this big time businesswoman. We know she's a mom, but then in the last episode, she's just standing there while her husband and Joellen's husband are arguing about the things about whether or not her husband's cheating on her and whether it matters and like who should be involved in it. And so kind of weak behavior.
It's very weak. I know it is very weak behavior.
Yeah, right now I don't hate her. I don't love her. I'm very indifferent. Very indifferent.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do prefer Joellen, so maybe it's more.
Oh my god! I like an outspoken woman. I love someone that's outspoken. Here's the thing: if you're gonna be messy, own it, and Joellen owns it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, don't be this like, okay, well, I'm like, okay, like I don't want any of that. Like, I don't have time for that. You're just not my kind of chick, and that's okay.
And all of her excuses for like staying with her guy are
what I mean.
Patriarchal, and yeah, women can be like misogynistic too.
Husband's gonna cheat. Here's the thing. That would never fly with me. I just can't. I have too many trust issues that I just can't. I've been through this. Well, not married, but like she's getting really pissed with Joellen for like simply just giving her the information. Like she's not digging it up. It's like it's on social media, right? If Rulla would just say like, listen, my man is screwing some other chick. He's telling me it's over. I'm figuring it out. In between all of that, I'm good. So shut your fucking mouth and I figure out my life. You don't need to bring anything else to me. I'm well aware of what the hell he's doing. Then I'd be like, okay, got you. But she's very like demure and like, oh, she just needs to stop. It's like, no, like if you're gonna like stand by your shitty guy, then stand by him and be very vocal about it, and not in your like weak, mousy kind of way. Well, with that being said, the episode starts out with Liz and Dolores. I love Dolores because she's from Real Housewives of New Jersey. Jersey's one of my favorites, so I love seeing Dolores. She stops by Liz's home. I think this was so funny that they saged the table where Joelle and Rulla had their big confrontation. I can fully relate to this. I keep sage in my house. I do have it in the event like something shitty does happen.
I mean, it was an intense conversation, so yeah.
Listen. Well, it was a really good one. You know, here's the thing. It made me appreciate Liz that much more. Obviously, they talk about the whole situation with Rulla, but Liz also is very open and honest about like her actions towards Kelsey. And she said she feels awful about screaming at her. And she blames it on being drunk, which we've all been there. And Dolores calls it, and this is what I thought was funny, a menopause moment. But what I really appreciate, though, again, this kind of goes with what we were just saying about Rulla. I have such, like, the kind of people that I disconnect with are people that can own their shit. And if that means if you're messy, if you make mistakes, if you act out of line, you know, I'm not saying we can excuse the behavior. It is taking accountability and realizing, okay, you know what, I really fucked up here and I can understand what I did. I have such appreciation for that.
Yeah, it does. It helps win you over because you get to see them as being human and you're like, like, just admit it. And then find your way to move on, because the one thing you say about all these shows is all about conflict and resolution. And so you can't really resolve anything until you can even admit that something has happened. Definitely.
And it seems like, when in terms of Rulla, at least, too, by the way, it sounds like Liz would probably agree with us, because she seems at least frustrated with how Rulla's handling of, I'm not sure, we already know for a fact that like her husband like screwed around on her. I guess the allegation is whether he's fully in this relationship or not, like actively having an affair, right? And all she does is like shifting blame. So I think Liz would be on our side on this, because she's not having it. And neither are we.
Well, I mean, that was the entire cause of her argument with Kelsey. She's like,
yeah,
even the insinuation, when you know me, is enough to piss me off.
Right.
So,
right.
But that just goes to show you, like, Liz just doesn't play that friend joke. It doesn't matter.
Speaking of Liz and Kelsey, though, too, it's now they also meet on.
But I thought it was cute when Kelsey was walking up to the pier, because you could see that she was nervous. I like that these women are not like actresses. They're showing it on their face, and she's like, she told me to help her. Especially because you and I have just watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where we're like, of course I didn't show up to one of your events. It was implied. And she's like, yeah, you just cussed me out last night. I'm still showing up to help you.
Right. I made a prior obligation.
Let's see. Yes. So they are kind of packing up the stuff. We don't really know why or what's happening, but the boat was definitely bigger than it looks. We don't know that that's probably a standard or a small boat. I also have a note saying, I trust Liz, and if she says she didn't sleep with Dino, she didn't. If Liz did sleep with him, this would have been a good time for her to just say, Kelsey, look, it really pissed me off because something did happen, but we'll never do it again. You know what I mean? If there was a time to do this, that would have been the time. But also, I trust Liz. So I'm like, if she says she didn't, I got no reason to not believe her. It was just a nice, vulnerable time, though, if she really was to be like, it really pissed me off because something did happen, or I really love him, but I know it can't, or whatever. But we didn't get any of that.
So I agree with you. I don't think she did anything. However, what I thought was interesting, and I had to look this up because I was getting confused, because the conflict then becomes Kelsey's relationship with Dino is a very different one than what Liz has, and not in a positive sense, like in a negative one. So bear with me as I try to explain this. So Kelsey kind of details, if you will, that she had a thing with Dino 10 years prior, when she, and this is where it gets confusing, when she and boyfriend number one were exclusive. So clearly that means her current boyfriend, her 6 month out of the year boyfriend, whatever you want to call him, I guess it sounds like at one point they were mutually exclusive with each other before whatever their current situation happened. So she had a thing with Dino during that time. So she cheated, it sounds like. And it happened during a very vulnerable and difficult time in her life. And now Kelsey has PTSD from that fling after she ended it, because Dino would show up at places that she went and get mad at her for talking to other guys.
Yeah.
My head is spinning.
Sounds like Kelsey had multiple people liking her, obsessed with her, excited about her. She cheated on the guy with Dino, but Dino still felt possessive. I guess they weren't official, but he still, whatever it was, he was jealous and then would make a scene. And so it sounds like she's kind of trying to warn Liz, like, hey, I'm just telling you, he can get crazy and nasty.
Yeah.
Which both confirms that nothing did happen, since he's not doing that with Liz. And also, Kelsey, I'm pretty sure Liz and Dino talk about you. Like, I'm pretty sure Liz knows. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a confessional where she's like, I know that. It was 10 years ago.
Oh, sure. That's her best friend.
I think I had to watch that scene twice, because when I watched it, she's so somber. I was like, was it like an SA situation? Like a sexual assault?
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like,
and then I go back and listen. I was like, oh, you cheated 10 years ago? But you bring up a good point. Maybe she was exclusive with boyfriend number one. And then when she cheated, he was like, fine, I'll date whoever I want to. And maybe that's part of her guilt of like why she stays and why she is polyamorous. Because she's like, I messed it up. That would
So when this happened with her fling with Dino, she and her current boyfriend, this guy, the house guy that owns the house, they weren't exclusive during that time. So those two were just dating.
Okay.
I said they were exclusive, but it says weren't because I misread that. Furthermore, confusing me with all this because I'm like, wait, there's another fling situation within this group. Right. I'm like, wow, they really fuck everybody. So what we now transition to is Ashley invites the ladies to her favorite beach. I'm going to pause there because was that a beach? Because that looked miserable. Sorry.
No, it looked man-made for one. It kind of looked like
someone poured like dirt.
You guys got to Google around like this pond. Old, like a wave pool. Like those man-made, like a concrete thing. And then like the water gradually gets darker because the like bottom of the pool is painted. Like it.
I know. It looked bad.
I'm like, pretty sure all the ladies were like, this is where you chose. Like, well,
they kind of were. They kind of were. They're like,
can we just go back to Liz's house? Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it was giving. I'm new to Rhode Island and don't know anything and didn't.
She opened like, Apple Maps. I'm like, oh, a beach. I will just go there.
Yeah, it was bad.
But one thing I thought was really endearing, because I do like Ashley. I think she's so cute. But she said here, because they all come in decked out, fabulous, right? They look great. And she said, I'm a mom. She describes herself as a mom who tried a bit today.
You trying? Bless your heart.
I think that's her whole point. It's like these women look fabulous, and she's like, I just thought I was going to the beach.
Yeah, but like these ladies don't go to the beach to get in the water.
Anything.
Right. They go to the beach to lounge and sun and eat pizza chips and talk. Mm-hmm. And so I think, not even to say it's not that literal, she just has to remember she's on TV. I don't think they go to the beach for that. Like,
that's why I like her, because she's real. That's my kind of girl. Here's the thing. She might have gotten dressed and like, okay, I look pretty good. Like, okay, my body looks all right. All right, cool, whatever. And then she shows up with these glamazons and you're like, wow, okay, I feel instantly horrible about myself. I'm not saying she feels horrible about herself.
Yeah.
But I hear that and I would be that person. Like, I've been into so many of those situations where I'm like, oh, okay, this looks cute. Okay, I'm good with this. And I show up somewhere and I'm like, okay, I look like a sack of potatoes compared to everybody here.
But I think she should lean into that. I want to see a scene of her calling Joellen or texting Joellen like, what are you wearing? Because Joellen's also a mom, right? I want to see that. I want to see... And Joellen's like, oh, just a strapless dress with like, oh, and my makeup artist is going to come over and make sure I have on my SPF. And I want that where she's like, oh, so where would I wear out just with flats? Got you. Right? Because she keeps saying, like, I'm not from Rhode Island. I've only lived here 4 years. Lean into that a little bit. I think that would be cute. Or even Rosie. Rosie, what are you wearing? I think that would be cute.
I hear what you're saying. I hear that. But I think that's what's endearing about her. It's, again, she is not a mess by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that. So I'm just using this as an analogy, for lack of a better word. I almost like that she's messy in that way of like not clueless either, but it's kind of like, again, it's such a real like thing. Or I'm from Virginia and this is what I do. I don't know if it's insecurity. Well, because here's the thing. She's an influencer. She has millions of followers. She's pretty fabulous. So it's not like she's not either.
She's been on TV for like the last 15 years. Right. She is in a different space.
But I thought it was funny. I'm like, because we've all had that moment. I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, I really misjudged this one. And then we do learn what pizza chips are, which I personally have never heard of. Now,
bread and sauce, because who wants cheese and toppings out all day?
Like, is there at least like ranch that I could dip them into? Like,
it made sense when she said it. However, I would go the opposite.
Wise.
Give me bread and cheese without the sauce to spoil.
Totally. I want cheese. I don't want anything not cheesy.
What about charcuterie boards? That whole thing is cheese. And so the way Alicia says it and completely owns it, and my grandfather had it, and then we get to see that he had a bakery, and then somebody else has a bakery. And I love that whole entrepreneurial quick foundation.
Love the story. Yeah. Her grandfather like invented it or something.
But also
love that.
Even when we order my hometown favorite pizza, Donato's, we get light sauce I want tiny sauce. So just dough and sauce, I would not be eating that. Or I would, because I would be from Rhode Island, and that would be what I know.
Right. I'm surprised because she's Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I've never met an Italian that does not eat really anything without cheese.
The dough must be amazing. What if they put cheese in the dough, like a stuffed pizza chip?
Okay, that would be so good.
Now that,
that would be so good.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm sure it's lovely. I know.
But it made sense, and it looks really cute.
I would eat it. I would just need like a dip, I think. I need something like, I can't just have dough and sauce. I'm like, I need a little more than that. But, maybe it is good.
Yeah.
Is
next Joellen? Is she next where she's going out of town?
Yes, but I do want to say one thing, because Alicia is the gift that keeps on giving, because she drops a little bit of a bomb about Brian, about her. She heard, Rulla's Brian, she heard that Brian cheated on his first wife with her Spanish teacher, with Rulla. Let's say that again, because, again, this is a theme of this episode, is following everything. Brian, Rulla's current husband.
Alicia says Rulla's current husband
cheated on his first wife with her Spanish teacher, with Rulla.
I thought he cheated on his first wife with the Spanish teacher? Or his first wife was the Spanish teacher?
His first wife was Alicia's Spanish teacher.
Oh, that makes it worse. So he cheated on the Spanish teacher with Rulla.
Yes.
It was Alicia's Spanish teacher.
It was Alicia's Spanish teacher.
I cannot see her speaking Spanish. I would pay money to see her speak Spanish.
I know. I'm like, please, like, that needs to be, like, at the reunion. I want to hear her talk.
But I love that because how old are these guys? That you're married to my Spanish teacher.
Because she doesn't look old, and he doesn't look that old. I wouldn't say he looks old at all. He looks like an older man.
But he was married
to the Spanish teacher. Maybe she was like a newer Spanish teacher.
Because I'm like, was the Spanish teacher a cougar? But maybe she wasn't old at all.
I hope it's not true, because she really liked her Spanish teacher. This show is the show that keeps.
What if Brian is the reason why Rulla got divorced the first time, and now she doesn't want to get divorced?
Well, that's what I mean. Because what's not specified is like, funny. Okay, well, was that when Rulla was with her ex-husband? Like what?
And so basically, we definitely know that Rulla's husband is older than Alicia, so we know that. Gary just turned 54, so even if we said that they were around the same age,
like early 50s.
Last week. Alicia's 41. So, okay. I mean, a 14-year-old person, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been like a young Spanish teacher.
We like gotta see that family tree, that like how we know each other tree of this cast.
And the one thing to point out, because it'll be relevant towards the end of the episode, because they're all talking, and Alicia is talking about the Kelsey and Liz fight, and calls Liz a hothead who requires everyone to walk on eggshells around her, and she even calls Liz scary. So let's put a pin on that, but remember the front of mind, because this is going to come up again. And I was very interested in this argument. So
I gotta say, I like the editors of Rhode Island, because they leave us enough breadcrumbs that then you get into the next scene, and the next one all builds up to the end.
So now we maneuver into Joellen's sister. This is weird. I'm just gonna put it that way. I was very like, what the fuck? So Joellen is going to go away on a work trip.
Love that. Love that she enjoys working. She tells her kids.
We love a boss. Yes. We love someone making money, a woman making money, honey. And her sister, Jen, helps Gary with the kids while she's gone.
Love that.
So, because Joellen knows that they flirt but isn't worried. And she says that they never had sex in high school, but he maybe got to second base.
Which...
like, what?
Is enough with puppy love for that to still be a real flingy thing. I'm good. I have a note here. I said, I'm not good with sarcasm and joking. There's no way my sister likes to flirt with my husband and nothing's going on.
Girl.
And
I'm like, isn't that a red flag?
So I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, she'll do laundry and she does this. And
she had his underwear.
He was not giving the same energy. That's the only part I liked. He wasn't even doing like a long glance or any. his energy was very, very platonic, but I still don't like it because I don't trust people. And I'm like, all she needs to do is bend over on him the wrong time. I just,
I
nope.
agreed with that up until she's doing the laundry and he tells her to like smell his underwear. Okay.
If I'm doing laundry, I'm not even doing underwear. I'm doing like jackets and shirts. Save that for a separate basket.
Or do the kids' laundry. Why are you going to do the husband? But I'm just trying to think of like, okay, out of everyone that I know that has a sibling, that every like possibility in watching their sibling do the laundry, and then their significant other telling the sibling, "Oh, you should smell my underwear." Like, I'm just trying to like picture it, and I'm like, and you're right. Like, he's not like looking at her, at least from what we can see, right? Like googly eyes. There's nothing like that. I would say, no offense, Joellen, I'm sorry, maybe your sister's playing into it way more than he is, but guys are stupid anyway, so it doesn't really take much. The fact that it's even the ether that they might have even like made out, it ruins the fantasy for me, if anything. I'd be like, I can't fuck my husband because he might have like...
There's so many other people on Rhode Island that could come over and help. Like, I get
like
it.
A nanny,
we wouldn't have this entire part of this conversation without it, but like, where's the... Oh, we already see her mom, and she says her mom is not very caring and nurturing with the kids.
Right.
But you can tell Joellen has no problem with it, and Joellen feels like...
Right, which I'm like, okay,
she's
great.
not a bullshitter, but it is very different for us watching. And I also think that Joellen is extremely arrogant to be like, he's mine. I know there's no problem there. Why tempt fate? Like, why...
I would say, here's the thing. You make a good point. Joellen is a no bullshit person. So if she is saying, I'm not concerned, I have no reason to be as a viewer, right? However, a rule of thumb in my own brain has always been, if you say anything in the, universe, if you're in a relationship or whatever, and you have to say something like, I'm not concerned, to me is always some sort of red flag. I'm like, well, why do we even have to say that?
Because if you're saying that now, yeah.
Whatever the situation is with your significant other, whether it's your sister or some rando at the, work or grocery store, if you have to verbalize, I'm not worried, often more times than not, I think, I'm like, well, that means you suspected something. That if you have to say like, I'm not worried, because if you truly weren't worried, there'd be nothing to verbalize to be worried about. So
something private, and you're like, oh my God, that stays between us. Well, I expected it to until you said that.
Right. It's and like, wait, you're going to tell somebody this?
Never mind. Right. So, yeah, we're definitely going to see stuff later where she's like, something happened and she told me it won't happen again. There's going to be more. God. There's definitely going to be more. The fact that both of them are chatting about it so openly, like, we were scandalized by the Spanish teacher. There's going to be more. There's going to be more. And I think the contrast of the last time we saw her husband was him defending her so doggedly to Rulla and her spouse.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen, not to say hypocrites before, but there'll be more. Yeah, and there were a ton of people talking about this scene. There were think pieces everywhere from people.
Mm-hmm. We learned that Joellen and her sister Jen fought constantly growing up, but they only became close after their father passed away and are best friends. So I thought that was really interesting. That, things were that bad that you weren't like on speaking terms, or, no judgment. I'm just saying.
Probably not, because I would assume that she was already married to this guy who you knew I had a high school crush on and went to second base with. And so, yeah, we're not talking. Weird?
That's just that much more odd. I'm like, we need to like investigate this a little more.
Because we're moving and watching this from a perspective of people that have a whole bunch of options. They got 1 million people tops in that state. And take out, if you're only attracted to men, then you got half of them, people that are of age.
Mm-hmm.
The pot's probably pretty small.
So then we transition to Alicia's mom and aunts. And I love this scene so much because it felt very like, oh my God, I feel like I'm back in New York with my family. Alicia has some of the ladies over, so she has Liz and Rulla over, and Ashley, right? Ashley was there, I believe. Yes. In addition to her mom and aunts, Alicia's mom and aunts, they show up with a ridiculous amount of food, claiming it's an Italian thing. You don't just show up in my family with like, okay, if we're gonna go like so and so's house, we'll just bring maybe like a thing of pasta. It's like, no, we're gonna get one of those big ass tin trays. Like we got this whole cake. Like it's not like, oh, let me just bring a little loaf of bread. It's like, oh no. I can attest to this.
Yeah.
It's definitely an Italian thing. And they're thrilled to see Liz. Who,
because
again,
Liz's mom and Alicia's mom are best friends.
Best friend. I'm like, another connection. I'm like, this is like the real deal, these ladies. And then Rulla is meeting them for the first time.
Ashley too. Ashley was still
Ashley too.
A fish.
She's probably shell shocked. She's like, what is this?
The same shocked as she was at the beach, but only to be like, we don't do this in Virginia. You guys are this close and you know this and you're finishing each other's sentences. But it was really cute. It was almost like she got invited to the sorority party and she's like, oh my God.
Right.
What is
and we
this?
Also,
it was cute.
But another connection is that we also learn while Rulla's meeting the family for the first time, we learn that Rulla knows the family because Billy, who is Alicia's boyfriend, they know his family through their parents' jewelry stores. Like, again, another really cool thing is that you just learn like that is something that I can kind of understand and I can relate to that too. And I love that kind of shit.
I thought it was cute. Yeah. And I liked Rulla in this scene. She wasn't not insufferable, but
I did too.
She was holding her own, but she also was just kind of observing and watching. It was, you know what? It was respectful. They were respecting the elders and letting them run the show.
Let's give Ash a little bit of credit because she also says that she does know them because they share an esthetician.
There's probably 3 in all of Rhode Island. No,
wow.
But it was cute. She had a
that was her
to build. It was cute. It was cute.
I was like, see, look at this. She's really now from Rhode Island now because that's her connection.
I'm sure somewhere Alicia or Liz was like, you know, Ashley, her husband was on The Bachelor that we watched. Remember that summer we watched it with Grandpa and da-da-da-da? They've probably already had that whole conversation. So, no, it was cute. Ashley was holding her own with the group. It was cute. It was cute. And plus it showed that she was listening because she was like, oh, I know this person too. So, it was good. Do we see Rulla and Ashley speak at all? Are they even near each other?
There's an air about her. This is just being observant, and I don't know them. Obviously, I'm not even in the same room of them. So, like, their energy could be totally different than from TV to in person. However, there's something about her that I feel like I could see her feeling that she's better than Ashley because money and I don't know. Maybe she thinks like, oh, well, she was on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, so she probably is floozy and all this. I could see her kind of having that mentality because I have, to your point, I have not even seen them interact at all. I didn't even see them interact at the end of the episode where they go to that rail thing. So
yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So they talk about a little bit of Alicia's relationship with Billy. Again, the whole like they're not married. And Liz thinks that Billy should put Alicia's name on the house and give her part of the pizza restaurant. And one of her aunts says that won't happen until they get married.
Well, because that's Alicia's argument for not being married, that she's like, I don't want to have an allowance and I don't want to have to ask anyone for things. But you guys have already commingled your life. So.
Right. As I get older, do I realize the complexities of life? No relationship is cut and dry. It is incredibly complicated. And I think the longer you are together with someone unmarried, the more complicated it can be for reasons like this. It's not just like you have your place, I have my place, we meet in the middle kind of thing. It is, we live together, but I have no attachment to the house legally. We have a business and I kind of like work in it, but I have no attachment to it. So it's like you literally can dump me and all those employees will never see me again. Because I would have no right to be. I'm not saying that's how they could be amicable, but what if he, I don't know, has a midlife crisis and he's like a real asshole to her or something? You know what I mean? Like,
or they have a kid, and so what if it's like your guys aren't equal footing on like who would take care of the finances and this and that? And it's not to say that being married gives you all of that, but at least you will have a stronger day in court to say it. I mean, her 9 years won't be for nothing, but she has some pretty big reasons on why she's not interested. And I'm watching this, and I'm not watching it to say, my gosh, I bet before this ends, she's going to get married. I kind of don't know where it's leading. And it's probably just because we don't know her. Yeah.
I don't know which direction she should go into. Normally, I'd be like, screw that girl, dump him. And well, we do kind of learn that she has like abandonment issues, like with her dad and stuff. So I mean, that just complicates everything, right? Trauma and all that. So no, yeah, we don't know her, so maybe that's why. But I'm like, sometimes it's easy, like when you watch these shows, and I'm like, screw that, like dump him and live your best life. But I'm like, this is oddly like, no, that doesn't seem that simple either. Like, I don't know what
like, I feel like he's asked her a couple times, and
she's definitely like, owning a narrative. They do seem to have a very level understanding, her and her partner. So I'll tell you who I do love, though, that gives really great advice, is her mom and aunts, because they are a trip. They literally are a trip, because they talk about Rulla's marriage.
Because there's no secrets in Rhode Island.
No secrets in Rhode Island. I would not want to live in Rhode Island for that reason. And she tries to downplay her affair a little bit, but Alicia's aunts ask her directly if she really wants to spend forever looking over her shoulder. Now, again, I have been cheated on before. And this is, I guess this kind of sums up that, like, when I think about like cheating in relationships, it really sums up why I cannot tolerate it. Besides, well, I guess this would be trust. It falls under the trust umbrella, but it's exactly that. Like, my mind, I praise people that can move past it. If I was to make it work, which I did for a little bit with an ex-boyfriend of mine, I would be looking over my shoulder all the time. Like, why were you looking at that person? I would always say things like that. Like, who was it? Who was it? And then 6 months down the road, I was still making those, you know, quote unquote jokes. I'm like, okay, you know, just tell, who was their name? I'm not going to do anything. I don't care. But I knew in the back of my mind, like, no, I want to know who the fuck this was that you had sex with. Like, and so when they said that, I was like, oh my God, that seemed so exhausting. I would not want that life.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had conversations with people where I tell them, if you don't want to be here and I don't want to be here, we'll tell you. And you think that removes the feeling from it. But then they tell you and you still kind of lose your mind a little bit. And I think you kind of have to, right? Because if you don't feel anything for them, you probably would have never cared to even been dating them at all. So I've only tried to stay with one person, and unfortunately, they were so blatantly disrespectful even afterwards. It made it easy. I didn't have to be, like, cynical. Like, I remember one of those times we were dating, like, this is the guy who told me he cheated, and then I, like, wrote cheater and liar on his window in, like, lipstick. And then maybe a couple of months later, he told me he was going somewhere, went to a friend's house around the corner, and I literally left his apartment and walked to see if he was. And that was when I was like, Kyla, you can't date him again. You clearly don't trust him. So it hasn't been a situation where another person was there and I was jealous of them. But I myself was like, clearly this is a sign you don't trust him. Because I literally walked to see. And like, that's a scene from one of my favorite movies, Sliding Doors, where the guy is like, of course I'm at the library. I had to. She followed me. And I'm like, I wonder if he knew I was following him. But my signs were very, very blatant. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I won't leave you hanging here because I will reveal something that I've never told anybody. That's very similar to that. Same boyfriend that cheated. He lived downtown, not actually blocks away from where I currently live. And his apartment looked over the main street. It was a high rise, like 10 stories. I was not like terribly tall. He was either like on the 4th or 6th floor or something like that. But their windows were massive, like almost as big as mine. I can't tell you. It's too many times where it was pathetic. But that I would, you know, be on the phone with him, FaceTime. Okay, love you, blah, blah, blah. And I would drive down. And there was a parking lot in front of the building that if you parked in a certain, like, far back enough, I could see with my phone on magnifier, I could see inside the whole apartment to see if he in fact was in there by himself.
Wow.
And I probably did that weekly, at least once a week, if not consistently, because I just did not trust him.
Yeah.
It does, because I was like, I don't believe him. And I should. So when you say that, it's almost like, you know, when you're doing that, this is not going to work.
But
right?
It's so shameful. It's not like you're telling your best friend, like, I'm going to check on him again. You're doing it yourself, and you have to catch yourself to be like, bitch,
yes,
are you really going to keep doing that?
And we do these kind of things because we have traumas and we have challenges. And there's unhealed wounds that, you know, us millennials are now combating. Like, we came from a generation of like, we had these hardcore feelings and the world was kind of acknowledging that we had shit, but our parents weren't. So you had that, well, do we sweep it under the rug like our parents did? You have to complain before you have food on the table and a roof over your head. And life is great, you know, but deep down you're like so depressed and like, I don't know why. So this is where all this stuff comes from, because there would be times, I'm going to be honest with you, I was probably in my car staring into his windows for like an hour. Like, not like, oh, let me do a drive-by. It was like, oh, I'd park.
You want to be proven right. Like, I knew it.
And that's exactly, when you say that, you hit it right, the nail on the head. It was like, in a very sick way.
Yeah.
I wanted to be right, so I could be like, I knew you cheated. I know you can. I know you didn't stop cheating on me. I know you're fucking around. I knew it.
And I'll be honest with you. These are the conversations that we have to have with ourselves now, where it's like, if you still feel it, validate your feelings and just leave.
Validate it.
Because if you still, and that's why we're watching Rulla and we're just like, girl, like, if you really want to stay, stay. But if not, you gotta stop just taking it out on Joellen, because like, we're too old for that now.
That's exactly what it is. If you are going to stay in your situation, then you need to own all parts of it. Meaning, you know what? I know he fucking cheated on me once. He might be doing it now. I'm dealing with it in every way possible. If you do that, then you know what? It's like, okay, good riddance to you. But when you shift the blame, there's no place where that anger should lie except for him.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big sign. And you need to like deal with that.
To eventually get to this place where she has to just listen to herself. Right? You ask your kids and they say, of course I don't want you to get divorced. You ask whoever. Because most people aren't going to be as honest with you as Liz, his mom, and Alicia's mom right here telling you, are you sure you want to deal with that? And so,
sounds like this conversation, she was able to like take what they're saying in. And I'll just tell you, Alicia's mom for the win, because she said that she's going to pray that Rulla hurts Brian back. And I'm like, that is my kind of chick right there. Also, I thought was really funny. Again, this is just pure funny. I can't remember if it was the mom or one of the aunts. And I don't remember what they were saying, but they were talking and they said, right, he's like, well, he's going to wander. But she has a thick accent, and Alicia goes, want what? What does he want? And she's like, no, not wanted, wandered. But it was because of their accent. I'm hearing it in my head, and I was laughing so hard because I said, what does he want? Because it wasn't followed up with anything. Because he wanted. That's what I heard. But he was like, he wanted.
And that's another thing Rulla has to decide. Did he wander? Or is this his character? And if it's his character,
he is wandering in that lady's pussy every night. So.
And if he cheated on his first wife with you,
what makes you think that's gonna change?
There's probably a pattern of his character being fucked up, meaning
literally
he will keep doing it. And so,
yeah,
you know, and Rulla, unfortunately, when these things happen, you feel like there's something wrong with you, and it really is the person who did it. And so, she'll figure it out, and we will watch it.
Yeah, we will. We'll be here for it.
Yes. Next is the play date, which we can talk about for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, and it's no offense because you actually read my mind. I'm like, maybe it's the whole kid thing. I just don't care. I mean, I really don't care. Well, and I know other people will care because they'll resonate. I personally am like, I have no.
But Rosie doesn't want kids, and the only kids she says she cares for are her nephews and nieces. And then you go
understandable.
Ashley, who already
she has all these fucking
interesting relationship with her kids, so she's not even the most. Oh my god, having kids is amazing, which it's not. There's work there, but you going to see your friend who is currently in the thick of motherhood being hard is not going to endear you to having a kid.
The only thing I did find interesting, though, they apparently never seriously, and I'm using in quotes seriously, discussed it before getting married, like having kids. And I don't know about you. I mean, you're married and you have kids, and I don't have either of those things, sadly. I feel like there's a handful of things to probably to officially address, if not already. And I feel like kids would probably be on the top of that list. Like, you want those? No? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Unless you know you don't want kids, and you know that's not a sexy thing when you're getting married. Like, there's an easy enough way to not talk about it while you are dating and even engaged. Yeah. So I could see it not being talked about, especially if it was intentional on Rosie's side. And I could also see her knowing that it would be implied by Rich that they would have kids, right? I could see him saying, "Oh no, I'm renovating this house for us and the future." Right. You know what I mean? I could see if she was intentional with it, I could see her leaving it out on purpose.
Probably.
Because remember, there's a lot of people who still want even the proposal to be a surprise. They don't want to talk about all that stuff because they don't want to ruin the magic of it all. And it's like,
I mean,
I don't want to marry you and then you tell me you want to move to Oklahoma. Like, we need to talk about this stuff before. Or you tell me you don't like me working or whatever.
Something large. That's like
we
life
need
affecting.
To discuss,
all the big shit.
I can appreciate that some people aren't having that conversation, but I can also predict that we see Rosie saying, it's pretty easy to not talk about. You know, you just want to have sex and go on dates. I could see the man not discussing it.
The only interesting thing that came out of this last scene before the rail scene is that some potential rumors came up about Rosie, about everything from
sleeping with people.
I know. And I'm like,
I can see it.
But it's coming from Kelsey, and I'm like,
but they're of a similar age. That's the one reason I give it some weight. Because Rosie's like 34.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Kelsey is 30. And I kind of give it some weight.
Well, I'll be curious to see if that goes any further. Like, will that turn into something this season? You know, because I would like to. Because this was very short lived. It was in a confessional, so it wasn't even like to her face. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute, she's not going to be cool with that. Are we going to go down this path at some point in person? Because I wouldn't. Now that is something that I would like to see.
I just had a peek at the future. This is going to be one of the best reunions. Because Rosie has a mouth, and I know she is going to come after everybody. Are those recorded live? We should go. Is there a studio audience for the reunion?
Those are like 15, like 20-hour days that they're doing that.
Because I'm like going to say Rosie is going to call everyone out on every single thing they say.
I have no doubt that that's going to be a great reunion, and I cannot wait to watch the uncensored version because fuck and all that's going to be flying out.
So now we get to
the rail.
Cici. I love that Liz calls her Cici, calls Alicia Cici. I think that was very so cute.
I know it is cute, but I was so confused. I'm like, wait, who's talking about?
Yeah, I know who's here now. I
just don't know the connection.
So I didn't care about the derailed part or them being on the little.
I cared about the very end,
but then it was like the slowest thing ever.
I know.
I like the conversation afterwards because Alicia is a Taurus and she don't play that shit. If you're gonna say something, you're gonna say it right here to my face. You're gonna stand on it, and if not, but I loved how Liz could care less. Maybe because she's known Alicia so long and she knows that she would have fought the battle. You can tell Liz is like. She is more than even patient. She can hold it. If she's going to blow up, it's going to be about something important. It's going to be about you, Kelsey, who matters to me. You, Rosie, saying some shit secondhand that you heard, and I know Cici didn't have bad intentions. You can just see she's so, like, intentional. Her not caring just means she's going to talk about it with the people who matter later. Like when she called out Kelsey later, and I'm sure she'll have a scene later where she goes to Alicia and she's like, again, you with this. We already talked about this at the vineyard. What, you know what I mean?
Right. So. Well, I'm going to go back at something funny before we get into that.
Yes.
Because again, Alicia is just the gift that keeps on giving. Because I love when she's talking about her preferred exercise. Alicia's preferred exercise is Jane's Fonda.
She's a nostalgia girl too.
I just think it is the funniest. I love anything East Coast accent. Boston, New York, Jersey.
And she kept saying it. Like she just knew that was it.
But that's what I mean. This is the beauty of like East Coast people. Like if you're from one of these like tri-state type areas where you have its own like dialect and accent, they're unapologetically going to continue to. There's no like, let me switch it up for you or something. It is.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny. But this started out because Liz says Ashley didn't even look at her in the eye at the 4th of July party. So she was kind of questioning Ashley. Where Rosie then says that Liz can be a little scary. And Liz pushes back a little bit and acknowledges that people do jump, when she comes around the corner. So that then leads into, at the picnic portion, Alicia's going in about her relationship with Billy. She gets emotional about it. Same kind of, she's now basically bringing this conversation more to a wider audience. And she said something so funny to me. She's talking about like her sex life and all that. And she mentioned that sometimes she'd rather watch Love Island than have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can relate to that. Not the Love Island part. Mine would be I'd rather watch Real Housewives than have sex. And then things ignite when Rosie and Ashley admit that they can be scared of Liz. And Rosie then claims that Alicia said Liz has always been scary and will never change. And Alicia gets pissed and warns Rosie not to go there. And then she clarifies to Liz that she just said that's how she is. When Rosie interjects, you just admitted you said it, and Alicia goes batshit crazy on her.
So,
and I loved every moment of it.
Alicia was 100% justified, and Rosie, you're being
I do too.
You are not a part of this. This is giving, I can talk about my sister, you can't talk about my sister. Especially because we just saw them all together and how their moms are best friends. These girls have been playing and hanging out.
History.
Whether they wanted to or not.
Right.
And we've already seen Alicia say some sideways shit and Liz go straight to her. So we know her intentions are good. Mm-hmm. And Rosie, you are not. What do you think you're doing? You think you're telling Liz something she's never heard before? Do you think you're exposing some big secret? Like...
Right.
I just love, you could tell that Liz knows that Cici is like that. I can't stop calling her Cici now because it's so endearing. But I love that she knew that was going to be the reaction. And she also knows she will later talk to Alicia about it.
Yeah.
Rosie was so determined that she was right. And even if her words were right, your intention to try to say that Alicia was bad-mouthing her was not right.
Totally. And here's the thing. Rosie actually, I had to rewatch this whole scene because at first I was more on Rosie's side because I'm like, well, Alicia, you did kind of say that.
She did.
And those were her words. However, you're pointing out the vital difference, and that is intention. Mm-hmm. These two women have such a long history. It's the same way that you can meet my best friend, and the things that he says about me because he loves me. We say horrible things about each other because it's funny. We know that there's no malice behind it. It's just how like I'm sarcastic, and when I make fun of you, it's because I love you. That comes with history when you have with somebody. Mm-hmm. Anyone can listen who maybe I just met, and they could hear how me and my best friend talk to each other and say like whatever, and they could run and be like, well, you know what Dominic's, and on paper it sounds horrible.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. That's not the intention. And that's when she lost me. I was like, wait, I had to like check myself. I'm like, girl, hold on. You're trying to twist her words into a different intention of what she was trying to say. She knows this girl. She would probably be the first one to say, I don't remember if she actually said it or not. But she's like, I'll tell her to her face that she scares me sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's things like that. I'm like, you were trying to twist it as if she was confiding, like, you know, you guys, Liz really scares me. That's different than going, oh, Liz, yeah, she's scary. Those are two very different things.
Hey, I'm closer to Alicia than you are because she talks to me. And meanwhile, Liz is like, bitch, I just had a sleepover at her house. Like, what are you talking? You know, I would be maid of honor in her wedding, but I know she's never getting married. Like, she was trying to one-up her, but how do you one-up? That's like me and Kobe having a joke and me being like, Dom, you better watch out. I'm taking your friend.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
You're right. Thank the reality TV gods for finding her because she belongs on reality TV. I would love to recite some of the things that she said to Rosie. So she tells Rosie not to put words in her mouth and calls her a fucking troll, tells her to slow her roll, you're not hot, and yells, welcome to Rhode Island, bitch. This is how we roll. She then calls Rosie a fucking thirsty bitch, so thirsty it's scary. She then calls her a whore and pours out her drink and storms off. And then Rulla goes to calm her down.
I loved it. I loved
exactly.
every
no notes, right?
Second of it. The only part that gave me a slight pause was like, y'all, when people want to storm off, let them leave. That was the one thing. Oh yeah, because Rulla went after her. Yep. Yeah. But she needed a minute. It was okay. Yeah, like, and then you got to see a different dimension of her friendship with Rulla because she actually did calm down. My favorite part, though, the contrast of Liz just sitting there watching.
Yeah.
Because she does not need to defend or explain or say anything. That is someone who is in charge, and I love that shit.
And Dolores, pointed that out too, because she said that Liz isn't even the one fuming.
Everybody is trying to figure it out, but Liz.
Right. Yeah.
But it actually made me think of when Liz does go over to Alicia's house and talk to her about her comment. I did not take that with as much gravity as I should have, because it was a really direct way of just going straight to her and finding out.
Totally.
You know, I think the way the editors are setting it up to where it's just like, oh, great, resolution, cool. Because at that time, we just saw Alicia speaking to everyone. And we're like, oh, Alicia is just the fun peacemaker. But then you get into episodes and you're like, no, they have years and years of depth with their friendship. And it made me respect Liz even more.
Yeah.
It made me cheer for Alicia. I didn't really come out of it with much of a thought for Rosie, except that, yeah, welcome to Rhode Island. You don't know the relationships. You don't know the depth. You're not just reporting the news here. This is real. So
yeah. Well, what was interesting is that basically the episode ends with Alicia and Rosie agreeing to talk. And Alicia says if Rosie is sorry, she can forgive her. And then they hug it out. That's it. Yeah, she's like, yeah. And then they hug it out. So they made up, which, I mean,
we'll see.
I will see. Exactly. I have a feeling that's probably not going to last. Listen, I know I'm very strategic. I'd be like, okay, you just pissed me off. You try to make me look like a fool and it did not work. You want to come over and apologize? Great. It's like, it's noted. I'm not going to forget that this situation ever happened. But, you know, I'm going to let this slide and pass.
So you're not trusting Rosie after this? You'll just be cordial?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not. I do not trust her. If I was Alicia, I would not trust her.
That's a good point. I want to see if Joellen is ever close to Rosie. Too bad she wasn't here. Because Joellen has a good bullshit radar, and if she keeps an arm's length from Rosie, that will tell us everything we need to, yeah.
Well, one could argue that was a precursor in what was the first episode when they were at the beach and her and Rosie got into it a little bit. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a precursor or a premonition of like, okay, well, hold on. And Alicia was there for that too, so she did witness that firsthand.
I think Rosie, having been on TV, thinks she's better or bigger than these other people who just have quiet luxury, quiet confidence, quiet depth. And she's like new money. Even though she's not the new person to Rhode Island, she's Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah. It's almost like maybe she just really likes being messy. I don't know what the motive is. She's bored with Rich,
so she needs some stuff to do.
Yeah, maybe. You said you're indifferent about Rulla. I'm also indifferent about Rosie because I thought maybe I had a favorable impression of her. I thought like, okay, she's really gonna bring it this season. And not that she's not. It's just I'm trying to figure out like what is the motive here, because it doesn't seem like she's moving a story. It's like she's just wanting to be messy, and that's just annoying. It's like,
yeah.
No, that's not cute.
Rosie, will you be my friend? No.
Right.
No, it's not happening.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. You guys, let us know. How do you feel about Rosie?
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you, when an argument's happening, are you Liz? You don't need to defend yourself. You know the truth is the truth, or?
Oh God, no, not me. I wish. I aspire. It depends on what it is. Like if it's something like that, I would probably be more of a Liz than an Alicia. But if it's something that like attacks or questions my character to some degree, then I get batshit crazy. So I think we all have like our push points, so to speak. I'm more of a Liz in this situation, but I think in most situations, I'm more of an Alicia, I hate to say. I'm like, you are not going to fucking talk to me like that, motherfucker.
I can see that. I just think it's funny because coming off of episode 3, where Liz was literally cursing out Chelsea.
Exactly.
She conserves her energy for when she wants to.
Listen, she's multidimensional.
Best friends for a reason.
These women, they're multidimensional. One moment, I'm calm as a cucumber. The next, I'm screaming in your face.
And maybe we'll find out some more about that with Rosie. Maybe she's this way because her mom was this way.
That's actually a really good point to end on too. It's now that we know a little bit about her background in terms of her, I wouldn't say, I don't know upbringing because we don't know the full scope, but she's, has hinted at she didn't have a good mom. That's why she doesn't want to have kids, right? Like her mom made some mistakes and basically acted as if she didn't want to have kids, but she was obligated to for whatever reason. That says a lot about people. And I said that at one point too. It's like you take that trauma with you, right? Especially she's a millennial just like us. We are comfortable with being vulnerable and acknowledging that we have trauma, but we're still like, okay, when do I talk about it? Like, how do I talk? We're still trying to figure out when to like not seem too much and not do too little. And then you have Gen Z that's like, they pull it all out there and you're like, oh, I just want to be more like that, right? And so it's similar in the sense that, we are a product of our upbringing. We can break those cycles, we can break those chains. She's clearly trying to do that. Again, we're products of our, environment and our, you bring up a good point. It's like, well, maybe there's more to it than just like she's a, a shitty person. We do have to look at people like, okay, well, why are they the way that they are? Where does this come from? It comes from something and somewhere. And we might have a little bit of a clue of where this might be coming from, why she's messy.
And also, you and I are two people healing, because healing always happens, and also overanalyzing, and also watching people on TV, and we have no idea what that's like. So,
true story.
We just get to discuss what we see on TV and throw in our own personal stories. And share secrets that we haven't told anyone.
Literally,
you're welcome.
We basically stalked our exes. We did not. We're just we were going through things, and we're young, so that happens.
I wasn't stalking. I was following very
I wasn't
closely.
either. No, I wasn't stalking.
I would stand right there and be like, "Yo, let's have at it."
I wasn't. I was hiding in the car. I was like, let me go back. I was in the back seat with the tinted windows, and I'm like, I can see you, but you can't see me.
Nah, but just like when I went to the bar and somebody was sitting on their lap, I stayed just enough to be like, you see me and you'll never see me again.
I know, that's gross. I would have been like, pull their hair or something.
That was, and I was supposed to say I was that invincibility when you're young, but I wasn't that young. Yeah. I was 27.
Well, it's still young.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Enjoy our
Thank you for listening.